Boom, and we're back. Guys, this time it's for a week 15 DFS breakdown. Of course, we didn't make the review video this week. We're a little busy. As always, if you like the content, give me that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know your plays down below. For starters, just touching on last week. It's a crazy week, man. So many. I had some. I was on AJ Brown, so that was good. But like, I was also on Mike Evans, who was on all my teams, and he got hurt. Nothing you can do, man. That was a bad week for injuries. Really unlucky. There's nothing much you can do, man. You just move on to the next week. If you avoided the injuries, that's luck in itself because that was an insane week. And it sets up for this week to be a tough week because there's so many moving parts on offense and defense, and there's going to be a lot of value to be had. But we have to dissect these team situations. So, like, we're going to talk about some situations coming up where I'm going to make some predictions on what I think's going to happen. Like what I would think might happen is one spot in particular that I kind of think flying under the radar, and we're going to get into that. I don't want to waste you guys' time. We're going to get right into the slate. It's a big slate here. No bye weeks, so there's no bye weeks. There's like three games here there's three games that I'm thinking about stacking. Really, one in particular, but there's two other right behind those ones. And also, guys, I'm gonna try to do a better job. Remember, this is my first season making these videos. I'm gonna try to do a better job in the future, making the Saturday updates a little bit more condensed. I go back and read them, and it's just too much information. That's what I want to avoid with this channel. I don't want to give people too much information and overload them. So I'm gonna try to change that going forward. A lot of times, guys, the videos and what I say on here is more accurate than my final plays. So, you don't have to read those if you don't want to. But a lot of things are going to change this week because there's a lot of injury news and stuff we're waiting on. So let's just get right into the slate here. The Patriots at Cincinnati. Guys, with this whole thing the Bengals were accusing the Patriots of, I think the Patriots coming off two losses are just going to steamroll Cincinnati here, man. I think they're going to destroy the Bengals. I think the Patriots can use this game to get their offense going. Wouldn't be surprised if Patriots won this game by 20 or 30 points. I love the Pats D. I like Sony Michel a little bit concerned about his volume and his snap share, but they should be leading by big throughout. So this should be a Sony Michel game. If you think the Bengals kind of keep this a little close for a while, Julian Edelman has a great matchup. He's like the only guy Brady likes going to. They're talking up N'Keal Harry, saying they need to get him more involved at 3,500. Listen, man, he hasn't cleared 18 yards in a game this year. Just, he's going to need 14 points for you. I don't know. I'm probably not going there. I honestly just like the Pats D here. That's what I have written down. I don't want to guess in this offense, man. But this could be a spot where the Pats try to get their running game going. Definitely a possibility. That's where I would go. I'd go Sony in the defense here. Cincinnati, I'm not doing anything on Cincinnati. I'm not touching them. Tampa Bay at Detroit. It's a little interesting game here, man. It's an interesting game. I like Galladay and David Blau. A lot of people are on Danny Amendola for 4,100 with no T.J. Hawkinson, no Marvin Jones. I think Galladay's severely underpriced here. Tampa Bay struggles with number one receivers, like legit number one receivers, and that's Galladay. Galladay's actually hasn't missed a beat with Blau. You can play David Blau too if you want to. I don't mind that. I'm probably not going to play Danny Amendola. I just, guys, I have a thing where, like, it's week 15, if a guy hasn't popped yet, he's not going to pop probably, unless there's a coordinator change, a quarterback change, some crazy stuff going on. So I really like Galladay and Blau here. On the other side, everyone's trying to nitpick one of these value receivers. I'm not playing Godwin getting shadowed by Slay. O.J. Howard hasn't done anything all season. I don't want to play him. Some people like Justin Watson at minimum price. I don't hate that. And a lot of people like Brashard Perriman. Brashard Perriman's 4,500. I don't want to pay that. He's like never had a big game in his NFL career. I don't want to do that. I'd probably go Justin Watson if I was going to play receiver. But what I think is going to happen with James, because people aren't remembering this, Jameis Winston is also banged up. It's not just that Evans is out. Winston's banged up with his throwing hand, I believe. He's throwing tennis balls in practice or something. They're going to lean on the run here, man. Ronald Jones is only 4,600. Rojo, hasn't had that big. He had a nice game against Arizona. Kind of got there off of a little. The targets were a little skewed. I like Rojo here, man. This Detroit run defense has gotten beaten up in a long time. 4,600 is a price tag that, all he would need is like 70 a touchdown and a couple catches for like 20, 30 yards, and he'll get you 20, 22, 23 points. So I like Ronald Jones on the Bucks. That's my play in the Tampa Bay Bucks. Green Bay at Chicago. This is one of the three games I think is really interesting for stacking. Everybody is forgetting about the Green Bay Packers. They're like 10-2. They haven't played anybody. You go look at their schedule, man. They really haven't got tested yet. They failed their test when they went on the road and got beat up by the San Fran 49ers. But listen, the Bears kind of maybe found this is a tough game because like I don't know how to read this from the Chicago side. Did the Bears kind of find a groove on offense, or is this going to be a letdown spot off a long layoff from that Thursday night game going up to Lambeau Field in the cold? I don't know. I kind of feel like the Packers are going to get hot here down the stretch. I kind of feel like people are not taking them seriously in the playoffs. The defense is a little suspect, but they got some playmakers on there who can get some turnovers when they need it. Aaron Rodgers is good. I feel like they've been kind of conserving him for the end of the season. I think next week when they go to the Vikings, that's a very interesting game on both sides. We'll talk about that next week. But as far as this week, man, give me Aaron Rodgers. Hold on, let me see who I've written down. I have Rodgers. Well, first of all, let's start on the Chicago side. I like Allen Robinson here. 6,800 is a tough price to pay, man. That's a tough price to pay. But if he can avoid Jair out, he should have had like 200 yards against him week one. And Trubisky was playing terrible. So I like A-Rob here. It's an elevated price tag, but I think that will keep ownership down. I'm not paying $6K for Mitchell Trubisky. That's not happening. On the other side, you can go with Rodgers to Adams. I don't mind it. Devontae Adams always does well against Chicago, and Jimmy Graham had to look pretty good last week. Chicago really struggles against tight ends, but I'd probably just go to Devontae Adams. If you're going to double stack, Graham would be the guy I would double stack him with instead of Lazard. He's 3,600. He's really cheap, and if you want to run it back with somebody, I'd go Allen Robinson. You could go Cohen, but they're just hell bent on giving David Montgomery a bunch of running back touches, but if they start trailing, man, I mean, this Green Bay run defense can be had. They funnel to the run. So, like, if you believe in David Montgomery, you can play him. But I just don't believe in him, 5,500. Yeah, I honestly, it sounds crazy, but I think I like Ronald Jones more than David Montgomery, But I don't know. He got like 20 carries last week. So I could throw Montgomery into my player pool, but I'm probably not going to. Probably just Allen Robinson for me on the Bears. Hold on, guys. I messed something up. The next game would be Houston at Tennessee. Here's an interesting game. Everyone's going to back the Titans here. The time to play Tennessee was last week. Okay, if you didn't play him last week, don't chase him this week. In my opinion. I think there's better spots in the slate. Houston's whole secondary is finally healthy for like the first time in a long time. So I'm not going A.J. Brown. Another thing about A.J. Brown's getting here off. I like him as a player, but he's getting here off long, explosive plays. Those are not like you can't bank on those long term. Those are sporadic. A lot of people are gonna pick him high next year, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to proceed. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see about that one. I love him as a player, but we've seen this before. Those big long plays are very volatile. They come and go. You cannot depend on those year over year. So let's start this game off from the Texan side. This is interesting, man, because it sounds like Will Fuller is going to play. He's limited in practice with a hamstring. Everyone's going to DeAndre Hopkins in this spot. If Will Fuller is going to get full run, I think he's a good play, man. I think he's interesting as hell, man. I hate playing guys off hamstring injuries. Will Fuller hurts his hamstring like every other week, so I'm not that worried about it. And if you look at the guys who have beaten up on Tennessee secondary, the guys, fast guys that go deep down the field. Evans goes deep down the field. Tyreek Hill goes deep down the field. Hopkins kind of like that short intermediate receiver. That's not really what they struggle with. Although, if Fuller is going to be just like a decoy, Hopkins is going to get a huge target share, and he's going to crush here because I do like Hopkins or Fuller here. If Fuller's going to get full run, I think he's a super interesting tournament play. I think I have 3 teams right now. One of them has Hopkins and one of them has Fuller because I could see Will Fuller going off here and no one playing him. So it is definitely risky though. So proceed with caution. You could obviously play Deshaun Watson here too. Denver at KC. I have Philip Lindsay written down on Denver, but I just don't want. I'm not going there. I'm not playing Philip Lindsay here. On the other side, I think Drew Lock comes down to earth here. I like the Chiefs defense, and I also kind of like. No, I'm not even gonna say him. Who did I have written down? I think I had Sammy Watkins written down, but I'm not. I can't do that, man. Sorry, man. Patrick Mahomes is banged up. I just like the Chiefs defense here. I can't play Sammy Watkins. He'll probably go off here because Denver struggles with number 2 receivers. And Chris Harris has been playing bad, man. If you want to play Hill, I wouldn't fault you, man. I might have Hill on a team. Tyreek Hill. Chris Harris has kind of not been playing very good as the season's been winding down, but I don't know. Denver's tough, man, because I respect Chris Harris. I really do. And I just feel like a donkey chasing Sammy Watkins. I just don't want to do that again. Just don't want to do that anymore. So I'm probably just going to go with the Chiefs defense and otherwise avoid this game. They're kind of banged up and coming off a big win, too. Both teams coming off a big win, so it's a tough game to break down. Miami at the Jets. At the Giants, excuse me. From Miami, Isaiah Ford. I'm not playing Patrick Laird. I'd rather play Isaiah Ford. Just keep it really simple. I don't know if I'm going to go there on the road, though, man. On the other side, we got to get news on the quarterback situation. It kind of sounds like Daniel Jones going to play. I like Sterling Shepard here, man. Miami's secondary is depleted. They have nobody left. I doubt Evan Ingram plays. So give me Sterling Shepard in this spot. Philadelphia, Washington. I like Miles Sanders here. People aren't going to want to pay $5,900. I didn't see the Monday night game. Apparently he got hurt, and then Boston Scott got hot, and they kept him in. Man, they want to play Miles Sanders, man. This is a great opportunity with them totally banged up to lean heavy on the run here and just try to get him going because they don't want to get into a passing game on the road. They're going to lean on the run in this spot. So I like Miles Sanders a lot in this spot. I can't trust Terry McLaurin with Dwayne Haskins. I'm not going there. If you want to take a dart throw on maybe the bench Haskins and put in Keenum, and then McLaurin becomes a great play, but can't depend on that. Seattle at Carolina, interesting spot, man. Chris Carson right now is my lock of the week at running back. I just don't want to get too cute. Great spot, cheap price tag. The Rashad Penny thing is interesting because Rashad Penny has missed a lot of games this year to my knowledge, and Carson, I think he's only had one 30-point game all season. So you need to be a little worried about his ceiling here, man. I think he's good for 25. I don't know about 30. I'm not sure about that. I don't know. I like Chris Carson right now. He's the lock for me. A guy I just have a weird feeling about this week, and I don't know why, is Tyler Lockett. They said he's finally 100%. He's 6,900. He's definitely just a tournament play. Kind of the guy Carolina would struggle with. Guy who crosses the field, plays from the slot, goes over the middle. He's a guy here, Tyler Lockett, who I think is a good pivot off of what will be chalky Carson. And if you play Wilson to Lockett, and this is the other game that I like. This is another game that I like. This is one of the three. This game, the Packers game, and that game we're going to get to later are the three games I like for stacking this week. But everyone's going to stack it from the angle of Carson as the back and going with probably the Carolina passing game, maybe. What I like is going with McCaffrey as a home underdog. You go look at his splits as a home underdog. He always has big games. McCaffrey and run it back with Wilson to Lockett. That's an interesting stack right there. That's going to be a little bit not a little under the radar, but I don't think people are on Lockett and Russ this week. So great spot. Love it. Love it. DK Metcalf is a guy that I like, but I don't know, man. I just have only seen him hit his ceiling against Tampa Bay, and they were trailing the whole time, and I do like DK Metcalf. I don't know. Well, I think I'd go Lockett in this spot. I think I would go Lockett in this spot. So that's it for that game. Yeah, I have DJ Moore written down, but I don't know, man. This is weird. The Carolina seems like they quit, man. They really do. They seem like they kind of given up. I don't know though, man. This is point in the season, man. It's tough to decipher all this stuff. Jacksonville at Oakland. We're gonna have to wait on news here, man. Josh Jacobs plays. Kind of like him as a tournament play, but I don't know, man. It doesn't really feel like they're using him in the passing game. Could go Fournette here. Don't hate that. I think Fournette pops off for another big game sometime this season at a cheap price tag. This could be it. That's it for right now, guys. I think there's the last game Oakland Raiders will ever play in Oakland, so that's something to monitor. They probably will win this game. Cleveland and Arizona. This is the game that I really like this week. Baker Mayfield obviously has a history of Cliff Kingsbury. Baker's a little expensive. I don't think people are going to go there this week. I like Baker to Landry. I even think, something that's very controversial. I think you can, something. I was going to tell you to play David Njoku too with a double stack, but it's kind of tough because, Njoku has a knee injury he's battling through, and I just don't feel comfortable recommending him. So I'm just going Landry this week. And guys, this Larry Fitzgerald last game as a home game as a Cardinal, they're going to pepper him with targets. And it's not just that. He's low. He's 2% owned right now. And he's going to get a good matchup over the middle. Again, he's going to avoid Greedy Williams and the other character. What's his name? He's good. Denzel Ward. He's going to avoid those guys in the slot. We've seen Delaney Walker have a big game against the Browns going over the middle. We've seen Noah Fant have a big game going over the middle against the Browns. We've seen Cooper Kupp have a big game from the slot against the Browns. I like Larry in this spot, and I think he has a good game here. I also believe you could play Chubb if you really wanted to, but obviously, guys, too, I like Kyler too. Kyler's way too cheap, way too cheap. So I like the passing games here. And if you wanted to go with Kyler, I wouldn't hate Nick Chubb because the Arizona run defense is susceptible. The whole defense is susceptible, But yeah, groovy. Minnesota at LAC, tough spot. Dalvin Cook is a tournament play only. Seems like they were kind of giving him a lighter load last week. Let him rest that shoulder up. This is a little bit different of a spot. Denzel Perryman's coming back for the Chargers. I don't really know if that changes much for me. Kind of smells like a game just to stay away from on a big slate. I mean, if you want to play Dalvin, I wouldn't fault you, but I don't think I'm going to. Don't mind Mike Williams if you really want to go there, if you're dead set on trying to get him, but, Dalvin Cook, I just worry about them leaning more on Madison down the stretch here to save Cook for the playoffs, man. But it's a game Minnesota needs to win. So is next week. They need to stay afloat in the NFC. The NFC is pretty competitive, I think. So that's pretty much all I like there. Yeah, I mean, you could play like Hunter Henry if you really wanted to, but I'm not sure about that. 5,200. There's another game I like. There's another game I have a tight end here pretty soon. Okay, LAC. The Rams at the Cowboys. Another interesting spot. For the Rams, I like one of either Gurley or Higbee this week. I think both those guys are in play. Kind of feel like the Cowboys are going to win this game, though. I just do. I don't know what it is for me. The Cowboys need this game. They need to win this game. This is a big game for Dallas. So Gurley is going to be dependent upon a good game situation. Them like a close game, them leading. It's tough spot. We need Everett to be out again to play Higbee, but that's what I like on the Rams. I'm not right now. I'm more on Higbee than Gurley because he's cheaper, and I kind of think the Rams are going to be trailing here. On the Cowboys, I like Michael Gallup. He's going to avoid Jalen Ramsey. I'm not afraid of Troy Hill. Obviously, you could pair him with Dak if you wanted to go there, but yeah, that's what I like from this game. All right, so the last game of the slate is going to be Atlanta and San Francisco. San Francisco, man, San Francisco and the Saints both got really banged up in that shootout. They lost a lot of guys, man. A lot of dudes like out for significant periods of time. That's why I was telling you guys, Green Bay is a team no one is talking about. They're 10-2. I know they haven't beaten anybody. I know they haven't hit their stride yet. Watch out for them. They could hit their stride coming up here, and people could be saying, "Uh-oh." Like it's guys, when you're trying to see what team's going to win the Super Bowl, the team that gets hot at the end of the season. It doesn't matter about the weeks 10, 12, 13, 14. It's who gets hot week 15, 16, 17 and brings it into the playoffs, and or even starts getting hot in the playoffs. Green Bay's a weird team, and they're probably going to get a first round bye. Watch out for them. But anyways, for this game, on Atlanta, give me Austin Hooper. The San Francisco lost their safety who's guarded tight ends last week, and they let 3 touchdowns to Saints tight ends last week. I know it was a shootout, a little bit skewed in that data. I like Hooper here. No Calvin Ridley. Julio's gonna get shut down by Sherman and Akil Witherspoon. Not paying for Russell Gage. I like Hooper. Hooper's way underpriced here at 5K. On the other side, I like Debo. I think I'd just go Hooper from this game because I think it's tough to really significantly say. I'd go Debo here. It's tough though, man, because like I don't like stacking this game. I don't at all. I don't like that at all. I don't think it's going to be a shootout by any stretch of the imagination at all. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. But Hooper's only 5K. All he needs is 20 points for you to crush. And this is an ugly week for tight ends. This isn't a pretty week to pick a tight end. A lot of people are going to go Higbee, and I don't hate that. I like Debo, but I'm not stacking him with Jimmy. I don't feel that. After a lot of people are going to play Jimmy now. I don't think so. Raheem Mostert's a little interesting. You have to check his price. I think he's a little bit expensive, though, so I'm probably not going to go there. I don't know, though, man. I'm not playing Emmanuel Sanders. George Kittle is 6,200. I'll tell you, you could play Debo or Kittle in this spot. That's where I'd go in this spot for San Francisco, and I go Hooper on the other side. But, guys, that's going to do it for the breakdown portion of the video. And really, yeah, that's going to be pretty much the end of the video. I'm going to touch up just the 3 games I'm on. I'm on the Cleveland, Arizona game, number 1. Number 2, I'm on the Seattle, Carolina game. And number 3, I'm lesser, but monitoring that Green Bay, Chicago game. I think that's a little bit interesting because I think that Green Bay is a like I've mentioned a bunch of times in the video. I think Green Bay is a team to kind of monitor here. People kind of sleeping on them. Another thing about that Green Bay game, if you don't want to play the passing attack, and I wouldn't blame you if you didn't, the Bears lost Roquan Smith, and, Zeke Elliott had a pretty good game against him. They did get their nose tackle back, but they lost Roquan Smith. Aaron Jones does not run up the middle. He runs to, the outside. So Aaron Jones is also another guy in that game that if you want to play Aaron Jones, I would not fault you for that at all. I think they're going to start leaning on him here down the stretch if they can. But guys, that's going to do it for the video. Thank you very much for watching. I tried to make this one a little bit shorter. I'm a little bit busy this week. Going to do the Saturday update in the comment section of this video. That will be Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. Check back there. And I'm going to try to make it a little bit shorter, more condensed. Let me know. Comment below, guys, the plays you're on this week. Anything in the video you don't agree with, you do agree with, let me know down below. Thank you guys very much. Have a great rest of your week, and let's win some money Sunday.